very excited now. What you looking at?
The future!
What we did here?
It must be erased.
Hello, welcome back to another video. This video is going to cover certain bosses introduced in Warframe, which fight has some phases to it. Like you have to do certain things, then it will move on to next, then we will move on to next, and that's how we beat them. The normal bosses, which are from planets, I already covered them. If you want to check them out, you can check it out. This is to cover the rest of the new ones that came out recently, and some were exclusive to Nightwave, and some might have new players might have missed them. So this is to just show you how they were and how you can fight them again if you want to fight them. So remember, these are still easy to do, but I call them elite because they are different than normal bosses. You have to do certain phases and move on to them. So these are time consuming. If you're like me, I'm a casual player, so don't judge me because of the way I fight, because I'm not like those hardcore player who can do things in 5 to 6 minutes. I take my time. I'm a casual, so let's get into it. Let's see what these fights are. So starting with Wolf from Saturn 6, this was the Nightwave 1's boss. He could use abilities like Warframe, and he can't be affected by abilities. You can spawn him by beacon, which Borrow brings sometimes. If you can get your hands on it, you can fight him. He drops his hammer. As you can see, he's using something. It's Wolf Sledge. He can drop his parts, but it's not guaranteed drop, so you have to keep grinding if you want that hammer, and just get as much beacon as you can for that. And you can get a squad for that and try to grind it, but I don't know. I barely see anyone recruiting for it in the chat, so try your luck. So that's it. That's the boss. It was very impressive when it came out. His HP is very large. You can see it's just level 20 at this point, but it had a lot of HP. And when it was level 70 or 80 in the event when it came out, he had a lot of HP. And if you're solo at that time, you just have to put a lot of time to just get his health bit by bit. But that's it. It was really interesting to fight. Hope you can get your chance with it. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. The next one is the second Nightwave's boss, which requires a key if you want to fight him. Just go to your market and search for Emissary key, and you will see it. Get it, buy it, build it. It will require an hour. After that, move to your derelict relay and start the fight. Just like Lepantis. Sorry, I forgot it. Needs a key. This one needs a key, and it will drop its key weapon. Pathosist, I believe it's a glaive. I think. I'm not sure, but it's a melee weapon. So once you get there, the basic idea of the fight is you have to find the guy with the lantern. It will be marked on your map. So when you get there, you have to kill him, pick up the lantern, and the lantern's area can be increased by defeating the monsters around your lantern. So the monsters cannot be harmed unless you have the lanterns light over them. That's the idea. So just go to your boss, beat him, then it will break your lantern. Then you have to repeat that again for 4 times, I believe, 4 to 5 times. Do the same thing again and again, and the fight will be complete, which is pretty boring. I know this sounds very boring, but if you want to fight him, that's the fight. You have to build a key, and then it will drop his key weapon, Pathosis. So that's the another fight from the Nightwave's boss. Hopefully the Nightwave 3 boss will be interesting, but yeah, that's it for now. If you want it, this is the fight, and this is how you get it.
They must not steal our light.
Now moving on to the next one, it is called Tusk Thumper Doma. It's not actually a boss, but it was introduced in planes later on as a kind of a boss. I don't know what the intention were. If you beat him, you get a lot of planes resources, so it's a nice idea to beat them. If you don't want to mine or fish, because they can drop randomly any resource the planes can give, and it's a nice way to get them. If you got a booster, then it's all the better. You can spawn the Doma, which is the level 3rd of Tusk Thumper, by doing bounty level 5. It will not spawn below it. It needs to be a higher level, and you better do it by doing going to Kaza. What is his name? Konzu. Sorry, Konzu. You going inside and activating a bounty. I don't think it works. I may be wrong, but to spawn him, this is the way. Go to Konzu, put level bounty 5, wait for it, roam around, it will spawn it, and this is how we fight. You break his knees, break his legs, or the covering on the legs to expose his weak points. And then use some frames like Rhino, Nova, or something like that to stop him, so that it's easier to hit him. Otherwise, we keep roaming around here and there, and that's it to beat. And it will drop a weapon called Horudu, which is RNG. So you have to do it multiple times, or if you're lucky, you will get first attempt. It's up to you. So this is pretty much the boss fight. If you like it, go give it a challenge. It has a lot of HP, so remember that. That's it. Hope you like this boss. Now the bosses I will introduce after this are spoiler related, so it's up to you. I warned you. So let's get started. The next one is Exploiter Orb. You can get it by after completing Fortuna's quest, and I believe you have to do the thermal fracture event, which comes every week, every month. I believe you have to do that quest. After that, you will get access to doing Exploiter Orb. So after completing Fortuna's quest and max standing, all the ranks, you will gain access to this room, which will give you missions. For now, we are doing Exploiter Orb. The Profit Orb will come later. The Exploiter Orb has phases to it, which makes the fight very lengthy. It's not required to be lengthy. With a good squad, you can do it quickly. But since I was doing solo, it took quite a while. So I'm gonna skip some sections. So if you feel like I'm cutting too much, I'm sorry for that. Maybe you will experience something new if you do it your own. So I'm keeping some secrets for you to reveal. I don't know. I just don't want to make this video lengthy, because at the point of editing I already feel it's quite lengthy, and I'm sorry for that. But these are the fights which require phases, which I already warned you about, and these are the boss fights. So hopefully you will enjoy it. And this is the first section of the fight. The basic idea is you have to get thermofracture or kind of like a capsule, and hit it on the vents which are frozen, so that you can damage it later. I'm using Octavia, which will use its mallets to cause damage to enemies. Anyways, that's why I'm not shooting those vents, and it will automatically destroy those vents after I have defroze them with my canister. Do this multiple times, and you will move on to the next section, which where the main fight begins. This is just a startup. So let's proceed to the next area once this is done.
Sisters, tell me their names.
Now for the next phase, you will see that it has a meter on the side. That meter indicates the temperature of the orb mother. You have to increase its temperature, then you can engage with her and damage her. So to do that, she will call in her children, which will bring canisters to cool her down. But you have to kill them and collect that canister, which later on she will create thermofractures. So you have to convert this canister into thermocanister and drop on her to raise the temperature, and repeat this process. I'm using Octavia specifically because it helps a lot in this case to keep those uh, children, she calls, away. It kills them instantly because the mallets will destroy anyone in mallets will take the damage from the orb mother, and put them onto the children. Thus, you don't have to worry about killing them. Just collect the canister, convert them into thermo canister, drop on her, and increase the temperature. Do this multiple times. Then engage her, which will give you a cutscene of sort, which will break her limbs and something. Do this 3 times, and the boss fight will end. That's it. That's the whole fight. It's only lengthy. That's why it's annoying. Otherwise, it can be a good fight. Hope you enjoy the fight when you get a chance to do it yourself. And this is how the fight works. The rewards will be just like the Toma Thumbster. It will give you resources of the orb list, the fish, mines, whatever the ores are. It can drop randomly from the orb mother, and also you will get a toroid which you can use to increase the standings in for the little duck. That's what it's used for. So this is basically the fight. Put the canister, bring the temperature on, and do this 3 times to engage with her. There's a cutscene that happens every time, and it will break her parts, and thus killing her in the end. So that's the basically basic idea of the fight. Let's move on to the next one.
She's rattled. Quickly, rip off that hat.
Medicine, children. Mother needs to rest her eyes. Just for a moment. Lift that panel before she comes to. Division. She's exposed. Shove her down. We shall not suffer disrespect. That's enough.
Critical.
As you can see, it will drop some resources related to Orb and a toroid which you can use to trade with Little Duck for standings. That's it for the fight. After done, you have to move away because it will explode. Move away 4 to 500 meters away, otherwise you will die. That's the fight. Hope it was enjoyable. Let's move on to the next one.
She's down. Dude, you did it.
For the next fight, you need to do complete sacrifice quest. Otherwise, this fight won't be available to you. After doing that, you can get the fight on Jupiter, as you can see here.
My people, my history. But now I am saved by family. Together, we will overcome the flaws of our light, the gods of our creation, merging with them like steel, bearing amalgams.
When you start the fight, you will see that there are 3 pillars of energy, and you have to make the Ropalolyst attack one of the pillars by hiding behind one of them. One attack, it will burst out the energy. Then you have to use your operator amp to remove the shields from the Ropalolyst. Then engage with him with your Warframe, which can then control him and drag him towards the energy, which will damage him.
Your great power, your great evil, the voice, the void within you. Our ancients still wither at its touch. But have you forgotten, Lua? You were saved. But I was changed.
After doing that, it will fall on the middle layer. After falling there, you have to hit its I don't know the specific term, its angles or something, bone like structure, which will be the only area you can damage anyway, so you will realize. After damaging both of them, there is a console at the end of the what is the word, surface. Yeah, so once you destroys his limbs or his ankles, I said, you can engage with that console, which will damage him further. And you have to repeat this process for all the 3 pillars. and once that you can engage him later on and finally land the finishing blow, and the fight will end. The only time consuming thing is the section it requires. Otherwise, it's a fairly interesting, and actually it was very enjoyable fight when it came out. Other than the jamming part of the warframes, yes, you cannot freely use your powers here. It will be jammed. Even the operator will be jammed sometimes. So you have to keep that in mind. That otherwise this fight would have been cheese with any frame. So that's it. That's the only hard part about this fight, that the abilities are jammed. It will randomly. I don't think it's randomly, but I believe it's random. I don't know. I could be wrong, but you won't be able to use it freely. That's the idea. It's an enjoyable fight. If you get a chance, do the quest and head for it. The rewards for this is the Wisp Warframe. Everybody burns the Wisp right now because she looks good. Abilities are fine, and everything is good. Good support. So make sure you do the quest and go for this. It's entertaining and everything. Hope you like this fight. I was pretty much sucking at it because I forgot how this fight went and was actually learning alongside it. So that's why it became kind of lengthy, I guess. That's why. Anyways, so hope this was entertaining to all. Let's move on to the next one. Now, time for the next off fight. Profit Taker is the name. To gain access to this, again, you have to complete Fortuna quest, gain ranking, max standing. You will unlock the door behind, which will give you
Sparky.
quests.
Right.
4 quests,
We're all
and the
here.
last quest is
Let's get
defending this
started.
Orb Mother. So that's a long journey. Hope you can go through that. So after doing that, let's fight the Orb Mother. Now
Final
this
frames.
fight can be quickly done by a good squad or a good member with right guns and everything. I will just say that I suck because I haven't done in a long time. There is no idea, no reason to go back unless you want resources or something. First, let's talk about how to defeat it. Now, Orb Mother is immune to damage until you attack it with specific type of element of damage, which will be shown at the front side. It can be slash, puncture, heat, everything can anything. All elements are accessible, but only the element shown by her can damage her shields actually. So after doing that, you have to pick the certain weapons with different elements so that can make it easier. So attacker bring a shield down, then you have to use your arch gun to break her limbs, which then she will deploy something which you have to break again, deploy something that will make her immune to damage. So that's why you have to destroy them, those pillars of some sort. After destroying them, you have to repeat the process again. Bring her shield down, break her legs, destroy the pillars again. I think it's a 2 or 3 time event phase. After that, the Orb Mother dies. That's the idea of this whole battle. Now rewards. Rewards given by her are toroids and some system. Uh, I forgot those systems name, which are uh, you can understand when I say systems because they will drop. I will show you what they drop, and after doing that, the fight ends, and that's the whole idea of this Orb Mother fight. It can be lengthy if your weapons are not damaging enough or your arch gun is not damaging enough. That's the only reason it will be lengthy. Otherwise, people can be do this in 5 to 6 minutes, I guess. So hope you like this fight. Let's check it out, and I'll show you the rewards in the end. Yeah, let's see. One thing I forgot to mention that you can use your operator's amp to change the damage type. As you can see, I was using it before. If you don't have that type of damage in your gun, you can just use your operator's amp to switch that damage to something else, and hopefully you will have the damage. Now for rewards, you will get these rewards and also Hilren's part, I believe.
We did it.
I don't think it's RNG, but it could be RNG. I may be wrong, but I got the part in this run. So if you're wondering where to get Hildren Warframe, this is the area to get her. And this brings the fight to the end, and you have to go away after the orb mother dies because it will explode. Just like exploited orb, you have to go 400 or 500 meters away, and this will be the end of the orb mother.
I need a drink.
Now brings the final boss fight, which requires a lot of phases, lot of preparation, lot of things to even fight this fight. So I will keep it short because the video is already lengthy. I will describe you what the things are and just show you the things. I will not cover the whole, all three bosses. Yes, this phase has three bosses with generally same things to do. So I will just show you the first thing, and after that, you can just figure it out yourself when you do it yourself. So first things first, how to access it? You can access this boss at the night in Plains of Eidolons. I don't think you need to require to do any quests, but you will have to unlock your operator, which is the key need to do this fights. So first thing you do is to like remove their shields, which can be done by operator amp. Player use a lot of things to do this. One of them is using Naramon, I think not, no, Madurai skill to increase your damage, which will remove its shield faster. It's a squad based boss fight, so don't expect to do it solo. You can do it solo, but it requires a lot of skills, which I don't have, so I'm not gonna do them all. So once you do Terrorist, you have to remove shield, break his limbs, which will make him weaker. You have to use those drones you see on a grenade camps at night to capture him, which I'm not using here because I don't want to explore everything. I'm just going to give you an idea how to fight this boss fight. So once you defeat the terrorist, you can move on to the next one by picking up his shard, and in the middle of a lake there is an area where you can put the shard and bring the other one. You defeat that one, you bring out the third one, and these are the three bosses you fight. The rewards they give are arcanes and shards, which you can use to level up your focus, increase your focus. That's the rewards they give, and arcanes as we use. So these are the rewards, this is how you fight. And to summarize it all, it's the only elite boss fight you can say, but it requires some phases to do, and the rewards are, I don't know, worth it or not. They used to be worth it before. Now with the whole arcane change thing, I don't know if it's worth it to grind them, but I don't know. I'm not an Eidolon farmer, so I don't know. So this was entertaining, this whole video. You gain some insight on which the new bosses are, if it's worth fighting them or not. So that's it. You should fight them, get some idea, and hopefully the new bosses in future will be interesting to do. If you like the video, please subscribe. It was pretty lengthy to edit this and all, and running out of words to speak at this point because I said so much. Boy, hope this was interesting. Like the video, share if you want, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in next one. See ya.